Okay, so here's some of the upgrades we've done. This unit here has a double chamber. This will go off into the new room. This room here is going to be where we're going to get our 100 to 200 kilos a day production out of. So that can hold easily about 700 racks inside there. The roof here is going to be adjusted with a all solar glass fixture or solar trap. And that'll be pumping hot air into that room, and the fans on this wall will push it through all the way to the back, and the moisture will come out the back end over there. It needs a big slab, it needs an attachment. It's going to attach with a wall here, so it's going to be completely enclosed, attaching to that door there, which is the rear door. And back to the burner, we've started testing it. It's very, very effective. We are making some small adjustments here and there. This right here is the intake, where the air from the rooms in the facility gets sucked through a fan, and they go into the double chamber outer layer, and then they go back in through this duct here. No smoke, which is great. It's amazing. It goes up, and it's well over 100 degrees Celsius when it's in this pipe here. We may decide to insulate that eventually, but for now we're actually trying to cool the air down as we go. I'm going to take you into the facility here. Okay, so here we are. I've just passed in, and this is the intake fan here. It's very powerful. It's got about 3,000 revolutions per minute. You can see here, 3,000 to 3,600 per minute. I'll just turn that off for the purposes of the video. Now the cool thing about this is that this is a booster system, so the air is still being sucked in here because our primary fan here is running, and that system, this duct system here, which gets fed by the hot air, continues to passively feed it, okay? So we have these adjusters, and right now what they're doing is this one is closed and this one is open, so they're feeding it into the rooms themselves. So if I go here now, this is extremely hot. I was measuring, it was coming out at 100 degrees Celsius, so it's just like a wall of fire. Now I would have to turn that back on to get the flow, but as soon as I open this valve here, and we're going to extend these valves, there we go, it's open now. Now that's flowing into the dryer system. Okay, that's open there. So now that's actively flowing into here, into this chamber here, which used to use the electricity. Now this was about 80% of our power consumption, was these two elements here. We're no longer using them. We're just using the fan, and the fan also has inside here, right there, this is a UV light filter, okay? And here we have our return air. So all the air which is going through the system here into our dryers here and here get exhausted into this duct here, and they go back up through the ceiling here into a solar chamber above the shipping container with light in it, so more UV light getting in there, and then it's getting sucked back in through here and supplemented with this air here from the fire, which is absolutely amazing. So this air already was coming in around 45, 50 degrees Celsius. This air is coming in like 80, 100. Now by the time it goes through this and it gets spun through this massive fan here, obviously it cools down a little bit. And you can see here we're getting, that looks like 50 degrees Celsius there on the lower intake, okay? And up here we can see 50 degrees as well. So this inside here, I'll just quickly open and show you. Okay, we're just testing on some pineapple. Some of these were cut too thick, like this one here is very thick, that'll probably never dry. But these other ones which were cut thin, they're getting pretty dry. This is like a piece of rubber now. And that's an amazing value addition snack. So we did about 3 trays, and it's looking really good. It's not exactly as hot as we need it to be, but we don't want to push the system too hard. We know we can, based on the energy that we've seen. It's just a matter of adjusting the fire. And for example, right now, it's already going to be heating up, because now it's going slower through this intake. The air is going in there to the fire slower, which is going to increase our heat. So that's our duct system that we've installed. There's 2 outlets here heating up this room. This room is now always over 30 degrees Celsius. It used to be like around 25. And then this one here comes out as well, where we have our stainless steel drum rollers. And that air coming out of there is just blazing hot. This is our prototype rack system. This all has to be upgraded. This was the right spacing. We get a much faster dry time. And so just with this one rack and these drum rollers, okay, even before adding the extra heat, we were pulling off 10 kilos a day. And now we've reduced the amount of energy that we need to use by adding the firewood system. So here you can see our racks. So we use about, I think it's 40 racks or so on a daily basis. And we can produce many, many, many more. We've even upgraded the design of those racks as well to be more efficient. And so these chambers are just going to be finishing, because what we found, especially today when we did our tests, we were spitting the hot air from there into this room overnight. The powder which was on those racks was basically ready for grinding. So it only needed to spend a very few minutes in here. So we're shortening the amount of time that things dry, and we're reducing the amount of energy that we're actually using from the solar system by increasing the energy from actual wood timber. The grinding room is all good. It still needs upgrades. We need to upgrade the size of the grinders. But now, for us to reach 100 kilos a day and go beyond where we're at, it's this chamber here that needs to be retrofitted. That's about a $10,000, $12,000 cost. And so when you come out through this door, this will be a pathway, and you'll enter in here, and it'll be just like a library. There'll be a corridor here, and as you walk down, you just rack. The racks will go up about 10 feet, and we'll use little stools, and this whole area can hold easily, 400 to 700 of those racks, which will more than tenfold our production on a regular basis. And the hot air coming from this plus this, with the fans running in here, and the wet air escaping from here, we're going to be guaranteed a very fine product, shade dried. That's really, really, really critical and important. There you can see, with the right light angle, you can see the firewood burning there. And it's burning quite fast right now. We are using a lot just because we're testing it, but we will be slowing that down and perfecting the system so that we use a minimal amount of firewood and just retain a nice core heat. Cool, so that's it. That's what we need to do to get to 100 kilos a day. It's really not a lot of work. We're almost there. This whole construction could take 1 month with a good team and a good budget. Upgrades in the dryer is just a matter of purchasing and ordering the upgrades in the powdering room is just a matter of buying the equipment. Here you can see John is working here. He's working at cleaning everything. He's finishing the day. And here you can see that's about 3 days production there. It's about 30 kilos just there. That's going to get boxed up and put into the store. Here's our little packaging table. Obviously, we're going to have probably 5 or 6 of those in the future, and expand this space to have more grinders. So there you have it. That's everything we need to do. That's where we're at. And I'm very proud of what we've accomplished, especially with this duct system, because yeah, it's as hot as we want it to go now. We can do fruits, and we can do just about anything in here at a very low cost, because we've already grown and protected the forest to the degree that we have, really, based on the consumption that we're looking at, maybe about 10 small to 12 small logs a day. We can do that sustainably forever, recollect that ash and put it back into the crops. So with the firewood system, it's really great, because as we collect firewood from our lower valley soils, which are very rich, we bring them up and we put them into our upper soils, recycling the nutrients upslope. From there, to increase production on the crops, We don't need to expand land. We have more than enough crops, more than enough lands to do around 80 tons a year. And it's just about buying some chicken manure, cow manure, and bringing it in, trucking it in and spreading it around properly once it's been properly treated before going in. So those are most of the basic upgrades that you need to know about for Priceless Farms to get well beyond 100 kilos a day. I know we can do it, and it's just a matter of pushing forward, making that investment, upgrading everything there, and we're good to go. Cheers.